Pray with me. Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Father of the only begotten Son, thee who we call our, yes, even our Father. Breathe now on me and everyone that will hear this your word. Open our spiritual eyes that we might see in the spiritual realm our spiritual ears. That we will truly hear what you are saying to us collectively as born again believers, individually, regardless of our spiritual status. And allow the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, to be acceptable in thy sight, God. You are my strength and my redeemer. In the name of your Son, the Christ, Yeshua, I pray, I bless you, and I thank you. Amen. Again from the book of John, chapter 1. If my memory serves me, 560 in your pew Bibles. Someone can tell me if I'm correct or if I'm thinking of something else. Am I correct? 560 in your pew Bibles. John chapter 1. We have completed 4 parts as we go through an exposition. Your information, this is expository preaching. Some of you, it may seem tedious that we have been in the same book for so long. But I can remember some good teachers, Ricky said, that you stick with it until you get it. And so we have had some type of bones for you to put meat on for each sermon. And on this particular one, you did get some, because this is really part 2 of point number 3. So we received some last week. So for today, we want to address what our community is going through. And I want you to take a moment to think. Has there ever been anything in your life, something that you did, or something that you said, or something that you were supposed to do that you said you would do, but you ended up not doing, that you needed to ask forgiveness for? Is there anyone in the congregation or anyone on Facebook that can stand and say, no, I'm not in that group? In case if you're here, would you please stand? Please, please. We're waiting on you. We'll give you a minute. Don't be embarrassed. We need you to stand. The record shows that there are none. Similar to when the woman was caught in adultery. The very act that many say will end their marriage. If you were to ask them, and I have asked many times in counseling, what is the one thing that will destroy, the one thing that will cause you to say this is it in the marriage? And oftentimes it is infidelity. She was caught. The Bible said in the very act, Sister Joanne. Inquiring minds would like to know, how did she get caught in the act? But the matter is that as they brought her to Jesus, and as it was their custom, they came, the community came to stone her. And there was, the Bible reflects that Jesus is riding in the sand of the desert. Don't mind if I have, it's the African desert. Willie, he's riding. The Bible doesn't tell us what he's riding. Sister White, I often say that I can imagine that that woman there is saying, here this rabbi needs to stand up. He needs to say something. Why is he doodling in the sand when my life is at hand? Jesus says, let him or her who is without sin cast the first stone. And Anthony, the custom was that the accuser, along with the witness, the accuser first would throw a stone, then the witnesses would throw a stone, and then the community would join in until the victim had died. And so it was that the Bible reflects, Sister Henrietta, that they all begin to leave one by one. The oldest to the youngest. Sean, I often like to say is because the older you are, the more sins that you have committed. Some parents say, you just don't know my time. Can I just keep it real? Yeah. And so, here it is in this call to duty that we hear Jesus say in Matthew chapter 6, verses 14 and 15. Matthew chapter 6, verses 14 and 15. If you're reading along, Matthew chapter 6, verses 14 and 15. Those who have a red letter edition Bible will find this in red to indicate that it is the words of Yeshua, the Son of Christ. Some call his name Jesus. The New King James Version says, for if you forgive men their trespasses. Somebody say if. Yeah. That's a condition. Your heavenly Father will also forgive you. And then there is the conjunction. It's that three-letter word. Brother Arthur, that B-U-T word. In my generation, That B-U-T word had two meanings. There was one to my parents, and it meant my Buddhist Minimus and Maximus. But in the literary, it meant a conjunction. And I was told that when there is a but, that it cancels out everything that was to the left of it, and it validates everything that's to the right. And so the but says, but if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Mr. Deborah, how quick should we forgive? What does it mean to forgive? What is forgiveness? What's it said? To give wholly, to make over without reservation, to resign. It says to give up resentment or claim to requital or account, on account of an offense or wrong, to remit the penalty of, to pardon, to forgive. I would submit, Deacon Nixon, that forgiveness is a process. Yes. One of the first things that we have to do, Nicole, in forgiveness is that we have to make a conscious decision. Something on our inside. Some folks have alluded that it begins with an inward emotion, something on the inside that we have to say that I'm going to release my right of resentment. I'm going to release my right of retaliation. I'm going to release the hold that I rightfully have for the offense that has been committed against me. It starts on the inside. Sometimes that's hard to do because while we want to say I forgive, we play over the incident over and over and over again as we begin to get upset. Tears may come to our eyes. We may envision the very act over and over and over again. This is where we get PTSD from. But yet, we make a conscious decision that I'm going to surrender my rights and forgive. And as hard as that stage may be, and can I tell you, Coy, that for some people it takes years and years and counseling to even get to the first stage, which is a conscious decision that I'm going to let go. And Jay, can I say that during that period, the tragedy is that it brings about stress. It eats us up. It consumes our lives. Yes. While the perpetrator has no idea. We're going on living life as usual. But then after the first stage, when it's possible, the second stage is verbalizing what we have contemplated and toiled with to come to the decision to tell the perpetrator face to face, I forgive you. Then possibly to be able to show a sign of emotion and hug the perpetrator. How difficult it is when the perpetrator has been a molester, a rape, infidelity, hurt us, hurt our child, hurt our spouse, murdered our loved ones. And to be able to go to step 2 and show a sign of affection and let go of the resentment and the pain and to show and give love. How soon should we forgive? The question has been asked. Those who are following Facebook and social media, you have seen it perhaps in social media or on the news. The question and why it has been brought up in the Christian community, in the community of faith, the community of those of color. How do we forgive too soon? In terms of social justice, is it okay for us to let it go when it continues to happen over and over and over again? Should we? Should we forgive? Well, I will submit to you that it's in the call of duty. What's your neighbor say, neighbor? Like it or not? It's in the call of duty. It's an easy answer, but it comes with tremendous emotion. It's an easy answer, Sister Lewis, but it's not easily expressed. It's an easy answer, but it's not easy to get to it. And say you make the conscious decision and say you are able to verbalize it, or say you're able to write it down in a letter to someone who is deceased and will never read it in a way of getting it out. Say you're able to verbally express it. The third step, perhaps may be the hardest step. Because I heard them say in my day, Sister Francine, I will forgive you, but I will never forgive you. That was an indication that there's something I'm going to hold on to. It's connected to my forgiveness. It's a complicated state, Melissa, because if we remember and relive the incident over and over again, then forgiveness has not taken place. But if we can remember and tears don't come to then we can say that forgiveness has taken place. But when forgiveness has taken place, then we are to treat the perpetrator, if they are alive, as though they have never done anything against us. If we state the third statement, we are to do good to those who do evil to us, and therefore we are to do good and say good things about the one who perpetrated us, the perpetrated against us, the one that violated us, the one that embarrassed us, the one that shamed us. We are to do good. Acts of goodness. Help them if they are in need. Treat them as though they have never offended us. Therefore, our long-handled spoon then gets put back in its place, and we get close to them, and perhaps even they become our friends. A call to duty to forgive. And now we're faced with another call of forgiveness. Before we can even wrap our spiritual minds around the sentence. And yes, it's the first time that a female police officer has been found guilty of murder of an African American. And yes, it's the first time that a sentence has been given, but yet our community says 10 years. And before 1 week of the 10 years is served, before the perpetrator has an opportunity to go through the Bible that was given to her by the judge, here it is, the key witness, another young African-American man has been murdered. And the question has already been asked, am I supposed to forgive again? And Peter comes to mind. When he asked Jesus, how many times must I forgive? Charity, he knew what the law said. What the rabbis had said, that all African Hebrew Israelites' duty was to forgive. In other words, he knew, or he thought he knew, Brother Arthur, the answer to the question when he asked Jesus the question. But Jesus, to his surprise, said, no, not 7 times, but 7 times 70. Someone said, was that a literal meaning? Well, ask yourself if it was. 7 times 70. Have you forgiven each person that you need to forgive 7 times 70? But no, he really didn't mean the literal number. It was a lesson that you forgive as often as it is needed. I think if I can hear people saying, well, I might forgive you once for the same thing. I might forgive you twice for the same thing. But by the third time, you really don't mean that you want forgiveness, and so I'm not going to forgive you anymore, because it's obvious that you intend to hurt me. Right. And then I'm reminded of Jesus on the cross. In the midst of his murder. After they had beat him until he was unrecognizable. After they had spit on him. After they had nailed him to a cross made from the very tree that the Bible says in the beginning God created. How dare you nail me to the creation that I made? How dare you, the creation, nail the creator? But while he was nailed, blood running profusely, he stopped dying. Yes, he was in the process of dying, and he stopped dying long enough to say, Father, forgive them. For they know not. What do you mean they don't know? They knew what the cross was. They knew what the nails were. They knew what the thorns were that they put on my head. They knew what the inscription was that they put above me. They knew what they were doing when they gathered for my garments. They knew what they were doing when they put me up naked before all. They knew. So what do you mean they don't know what they're doing? My husband, my wife, they knew what they were doing when they were doing it. The perpetrators knew what they were doing to my child. They knew what they were doing to my friend. They knew. She knew what she was doing. When she went into an apartment that was not hers, did not look like her, did not have her furniture in it, was not arranged like her. She knew what she was doing when she pulled her gun. She knew what she was doing when she shot an innocent man of God, sang in the choir in his church, was doing good and contributing to his community. A mother's son, a brother's brother. Yes. She knew. Just like the Romans knew. So Jesus, what do you mean? For they know not what they do. I believe that's a good question. Yes. You see, when we talk about the light, they didn't have the light. So they could not see because they were in darkness. Spiritual darkness, not natural darkness, but spiritual darkness. And because they were in spiritual darkness, Jesus said, forgive them. She had to be in spiritual darkness to take the life of an innocent young man. She had to be in darkness to conjure up the story that she thought she was in her apartment. She had to be in darkness. Just like the perpetrator on yesterday that took the life of Joshua Brown. They had to be in darkness. So Jesus says, when they're in darkness, while they consciously know what they're doing spiritually, they don't know what they're doing. And if they don't know what they're doing spiritually, as hard as it may be, as hard as it may seem, as unfair. Yes, unfair. He says, forgive. And even the thief that was on the side was guilty, had been caught, and was receiving the punishment that had been decided for his offense. And even after he had mocked Jesus, but something moved him from darkness to light. And as he said to the other thief, we are guilty, but this man is innocent. And he asked for total forgiveness. And Jesus didn't say to him, it's too soon. Jesus didn't say to him, why should I? Jesus didn't say to him, what do you want me to forgive you for? Jesus didn't ask him, well, how sorry are you? And what are you going to do now? Jesus said, what may seem to be unfair to those of us who are still here today, you will be with me in paradise. Today. Rick, I don't know. I don't know how, when we're going to get finished. Because point 3 in this call of duty says we must extend grace to others because God extended grace to us. But it's the grace that is the third step of forgiveness. And somebody said, Monique, they asked me how, Reverend? Because grace is extending what is not deserved. And I did not deserve his goodness. I did not deserve his blessings. I did not deserve him to live with me and live in me. I did not deserve it. But he gave it to me anyway. She does not deserve forgiveness. She did not deserve the Bible that she received. She did not deserve the hope. She did not deserve the attention that was given to her. She did not deserve to receive such a life sentence. But that's called grace. And as we prepare for a part 4, because I know that it's time to go. as we process this as a community. A community with a dilemma. On the one hand, if we look at it from our civil rights perspective, we can't help but ask the question, when will justice prevail? How many mothers will mourn? How many fathers will be lost? How many children will be affected? A very real question. And we have to ask ourselves, what will happen to our sons?
Yes.
Mothers have to worry about what will they tell their sons and their daughters when they go out. And then on the other hand, as born again believers, followers of the light, those who have been instructed to let their light so shine among men that they might see the Father. It says then that as hard as it may be, our call to duty is to forgive. As we postpone to the same gospel station, the same gospel message, around the same gospel time, from the same gospel. Can you and you and even you, I know some say it's impolite to point your finger, but I'm talking to you on Facebook. And I have to ask myself the same question. Can I fulfill my call to do, even though I don't like it, even though I don't want to, and even though it does not seem that justice has been served? My call to duty, Deacon Dipper, is to forgive. So my challenge to each of you and to you, if you're on social media, just put hashtag call to duty, hashtag forgive, hashtag forgive. And if you got your phone down, you can put it out, you can do it now. Just put hashtag forgive. Hashtag call to duty and hashtag forgive. Because as you indicated by your remaining seat, you have been forgiven. Your offenses have been dismissed. And God has washed according to the prophet